Life is love and love is life. Everything is equal. Now, while all life has different purposes on Earth, it's equal nonetheless. And look, animals are, if you want to understand the Creator, you need to understand the creation. And the only way to understand the creation is through experience. And part of that experience is nature and animals. And so when man wages war on animals, they wage war on the Creator. When man has a parasitic relationship with the earth and its resources, it's having a parasitic relationship with the Creator. Now again, that's what love is. That's love beyond the human understanding, is kind of is the Creator to an extent, being able to be a giving tree, although it doesn't, without having to go down to a stump. If anybody remembers that children's book. To be able to give for everybody to learn and to work things out of their system. And so even though, as well as animals are on their own evolutionary journey and being stewards of the land, animals also demonstrate the harmony that I talk about, the symbiotic ecosystems and things working together. And you say, well, Graham, how is it with animals, eat each other and kill each other? How's that love? Well, that is an absolutely valid and great question. And what I would answer back to that is, first, let's not confuse the current state of a state with the design state. What you see today is a world of scarcity. You see animals that have been manipulated through breeding and otherwise by humanity. In the future, you're going to see lion and ox next to each other, side by side, not going after each other. You will see humans and animals playing and learning, in addition to the future being where you're seeing animals side by side in symbiotic relationships working together, right, once the restoration has occurred. When we talk about being your genuine and authentic selves, animals are a great indicator of that. They are absolutely their genuine and authentic selves. They are always present, and they're also here to teach and to help humanity. I mean, if there was nothing in the sky, would man have figured out and thought about flight? I was reading an article where I think it was an Eastern country. I think maybe it was Japan, and they were developing their speeding trains. And one of the challenges they had was that when the speeding train went through tunnels, it created like a sonic boom or something that that needed to be addressed. And so, how did they solve that? They noticed how certain birds would dive through the water, and based on their aerodynamics and the lack of sound that they made, they essentially, took the physics and the science from how animals were able to interact with their surroundings and apply that to the trains, which is why you see the nose of a train, and the speeding trains look more like the beak of a bird. And instead of saying thank you to our little animal friends and loving them and appreciating them for their values, we want to shoot them out of the sky. And the most critical thing that I can tell you about animals and nature and their role and the importance for humans is, when you have a set of humans that want to control other humans, they create hierarchies. And they say, this is the knowledge, and this is the way that things are, and this is how it is, and this is who's in charge, and this is what we value. But you got to remember, the universe didn't create you to be oppressed. The universe didn't there to be bullied and to be marginalized. You're supposed to be independent and free. Well, but I've still got to learn, Graham. Exactly. And so humans are always designed, and remember the psychism and the connection to nature and animals? Yeah, that's being able to learn through nature and through animals. The most valuable lessons that I have learned in my time alone have come from my animal friends. One that was, and this is a whole lot of learning all into one, came in my backyard, and I spent a lot of time learning with my squirrel friends. And talk about amazing and beautiful creatures. The curiosity, the fun, the playfulness, the confidence, and talk about just an amazing suit that they have that does so many things for them. The squirrels. And so I spent a lot of time getting to know and hanging out with the squirrels in my backyard. and feeding them. All right? And now as I then created, attracted some more squirrels to my backyard, I also then attracted birds of prey. And on one unfortunate day, I saw one of these beautiful birds of prey come down and take one of my squirrels. And as I nearly broke my toe, running out of my house, trying to stop it, throwing my phone. And as I watched my squirrel get taken away, remember those tough conversations with the universe or with the creator or God that I talked about? Oh yeah, we had some very tough conversations at that point in time about, love and how could this be? I don't understand, right? And I also didn't understand. And for that matter, I also didn't understand how the magic that I put around didn't protect these animals. Well, as after I got done with my, conversations, we unpacked that. And yes, sure enough, what did occur just outside of my boundaries that I placed. And in understanding the harmony of an ecosystem and love, right? It's not love to just give to one and not another, right? If there's going to be love given to one species to survive, it needs to be given to all. So in the circle of life, well, if the squirrel and the prey deserves its nourishment, so does the predator, right? Love is being able to love the prey and the predator equally. Now that doesn't mean that I enjoyed or appreciate seeing that, nor do I want to. But it certainly enriched my understanding of love for all, and why it's so hard to love for all. But I can also tell you that once I learned how to have love for all, and the reasons to have love for all, and how to understand divine love and everything being supported and having its purpose, life became also easier, right? Because I now understood, right? I could always answer that, why did this happen? Right? And being able to answer that why provides, comfort. And it also provides guidance and wisdom. Another one thing that I wish for all my human friends to learn and understand, it's how to become self-sufficient and have their personal empowerment through that personal relationship with nature and animals and the Creator.